into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about
You can't help but love it.
I know. So we're talking about all about that bass because we're actually going to jump into the Belfie stick later on in this episode of Candidly Nicole. I'm your host, Vivian Adobe, and we have our two lovely hosts to my left.
Hi, I am Brandon Marlowe. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
And I'm Jordana Morphin, and you can follow me at Jordana_Morphin on Instagram and on Twitter.
And of course, you can follow me at vivaciouslyviv.com. Well, vivaciouslyviv on Instagram and Twitter, and vivaciouslyvivian.com. But we're about to break it down, the whole premiere of Candidly Nicole. This is season 2, first episode. And of course, we already know that Nicole Richie is super funny. But in this episode, which is Nicole Richie Inventor, we learned that she's also, I guess, a businesswoman.
Super smart.
Super smart.
Super smart, super funny, obviously. But this episode is really good. Like, it was a good first episode for season 2.
I think it's different than a lot of the things that she's done because she plays off like a lot of like her tweets that she does. Like she's naturally very articulate and has very good timing. But not many people are inventors. Like I don't think ever thought of something just like out of thin air. Like I think I'm gonna do that. And even though it's joking, like it's kind of mocking itself.
Right.
It's something. Like it's good for you, girl. You did something.
It takes a lot of effort to, one, come up with an idea and then actually try to see it through. So that's what we see in this episode. But first off, we have to talk about how the idea even came about. So we start off with Candidly Nicole herself, Nicole Richie. She's hanging out with her friend Catherine and Jamie. And they're just, chit-chatting about getting their eyebrows done and hanging out. And Jamie gets a phone call. And it's her friend. She wants to hang out. Jamie's not feeling it. And I mean, I know you guys can relate about, last minute party plans and you're just not really in the mood.
Yeah, and you don't want to text them back. That happens to me all the time. Like, what do I say? Do I even text them back?
Right.
I always have that, but I always text back.
Oh, you're good.
But I will come up with an excuse. It may not be the truth. But I'm an old man. So normally it's like people like, I want to go out and it's 9:30. I'm like, girl, I went out at 5 o'clock for Taco Bell and I'm in for the night.
Wait, so if it's like Taco Tuesday and they're having a special at 10 p.m.
You will not have to text. I will be there.
Okay.
I will be saving your seat.
So there is a party clause for that. A
there
taco
sure
clause.
is.
Well, now, what would get you out if it's like 11 o'clock at night and...
You know what? Lately, it's been really bad. Like, lately when my friends text me, they're like, let's go out, I will reply, this is bad, like an hour later.
Oh,
and I'm
gosh.
just like, I'm busy doing something else. Or I fell asleep. I'm just going to stay in tonight. But I don't know. It has to be something really good.
Okay, do you guys do the time lapse strategically? Like, I saw this an hour ago. I'm not going to reply right now. I'll reply in an hour like I wasn't looking at my phone.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And leave it unread.
Yep. I don't even have that.
You guys are those bad friends. Like, at least give me an excuse. Like, not right now. I'm sick.
Well, see, that's exactly why this invention they came up with is necessary for people like us who just don't know how to respond. So they talk about eyebrows. They talk about their friend who Jamie doesn't want to hang out with. And then they start thinking of some ideas, different ways to eradicate this issue that I know we all have. So who wants to go into the first idea?
Was it all right? Are we talking about the speaker already? Or are we talking about the other ideas
The other ideas.
Oh, so what else did they come up with?
They did the full body umbrella, which I really liked.
Full body umbrella.
Because an umbrella, this is the problem. That an umbrella only covers your head, but rain is almost always falling at an angle.
Right.
Like, this is logical. Like, this is a real life problem.
Yeah.
The full body umbrella, yes. Like, if you would see that as seen on TV, Nana would be buying that.
Yeah,
She'd
that's
have it
true.
in her car. And I thought that one, like, that's another smart one, execution, but I'm going to see it in a Target one day, guaranteed.
The Belfie stick, come on, what is that? That was funny. That was a good.
Those actually exist. I'm so serious. It was right after the whole selfie stick phenomenon.
No.
Then they started doing Belfie sticks. They even brought it to red carpet. So
No,
sorry,
they
Nicole,
didn't.
you were kind of late on that. That whole idea coming.
The other really good one was the lipstick.
That one was bad though.
The lipstick
one didn't-
line. The application was bad, but it reminded me of my mom like putting on mascara or like eyeliner in the car. And girls can do this.
Yeah.
Without looking at anything, and I had to put powder on before we came out here, so I don't look oily. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know how you guys do this all the time. It's so hard.
It's an art.
Yeah.
It's definitely an art. I can do my makeup with my eyes closed now.
See, and you don't even need that liner. You don't need the mask to guide you where to go.
Yeah, but I mean, for people who are getting their start with makeup application, or maybe they're rushing, or maybe they just want to spend money on something, why not? But going back real quick to the whole full body umbrella, I was actually down for that.
Right.
Yeah, because like especially here in LA, the rain kind of comes at you sideways sometimes. So if you have an umbrella that's just covering the top, I mean,
Like an
it's still
umbrella.
getting wet, you know?
Yeah.
An umbrella is for like a Seattle like drizzle. Like there is no wind, there is no tumultuous weather out there. It is just like it's just like spitting at you a little bit.
Yeah.
And that is the full body umbrella is needed. Like if she doesn't do that, I think we should go into business.
Right, the three
Do
of
it
us.
together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just imagine seeing people walking on the streets with these full body umbrellas. Like people are gonna look like jellyfish, just like roaming around town.
Yes, but they're gonna be dry, and there is no
Dry
worse
jellyfish.
feeling. I think we can all agree
yep.
than being wet, especially like in jeans, because
Oh, yes.
I always think of it coming on like very abruptly.
Yeah.
Why are you always wearing denim?
Yeah.
And it's chafing, it's itchy,
And it's like clinging to your
Right.
body. Oh my god,
It's
it's
the
the most uncomfortable
worst.
feeling.
Yeah.
it's horrible.
They should have ran with that idea. I feel like that could have been patented and good to go.
We're gonna see that on Shark Tank now. Like that, I think that is a real invention, and I bet if we looked online somewhere, we could find
We could
like a
probably find
full
one.
body.
Yeah.
But they do make those ones that angle, so you can try and keep the rain away.
Oh, that's
But
good.
I'm like,
I need
Girl,
to
why don't you
Google
just
that.
like tilt it on your shoulder, like you're paying the $20 extra for like the hitch.
Oh, just like
right.
just another way to take our money.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I feel like it's really useful for someone like, Nicole, because she's really puny. She's really small, very petite, and that little length that they had there will cover her whole entire body and then some.
Right.
So she could have big hair and everything.
She still has that in her closet.
Right.
Yeah.
But real quick, we're going to show you guys an image of the Belfie stick that we were talking about earlier, because it is actually a real thing. It already exists. If you are interested, you can go online and check it
goodness.
out. See, I told you guys, I was totally
That
not
is
lying.
real.
It's a real thing.
That's embarrassing.
I mean, do you know what that reminds me of? I tweeted one day about like people who take photos,
Yeah.
acting like they don't see it being taken.
Oh,
And I'm
I
like,
do
that's
that all the
exactly what
time.
that would be what that's for though. Like at least then like you can get it from a different angle where it's like, I don't know that you're really taking that yourself, but you are.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the Instagram thing to do. Like, Nicole Richie is queen of Instagram, queen of social media. She's
Yeah, she
excellent
is.
at it.
It looks so good. And none of her stuff looks filtered or like it's
Yeah.
done too much. She's not face tuning herself. Like she just
Wait,
looks
what does
really
face
great.
tuning mean? Please explain.
Face tuning?
Yes.
It's why everyone looks flawless now. Like on their Instagrams or Twitters, they can like massage out essentially the wrinkles or blemishes.
Let me find out.
Right, girl.
You know,
Face tune.
getting
Check that
older,
out.
You know, well, not
Face
really. I think we're very young.
older.
Well, see, in LA, you age backwards. So I just hit 23. This is the last time you'll hear me say that. Next year, I'm going to be 21.
I'm an old man, so we won't get into that. Hollywood, I've expired. I'm clinging.
But you have the face of a 19-year-old.
Thank
do.
you.
Right. And also like Nicole, because she looks super young.
She looks like she's 20, 22.
Her haircut, I think,
Yeah, it's
really
the-
did that.
and the
Like her
color.
bang now,
Yeah.
she looks really good.
And I love the pink.
I love her
so fun.
hair. Like when she brings out, first season she had purple hair.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And now she has pink, but either way, she looks.
I can't remember if she did an episode or if it was during her AOL sessions that she was doing it, but she went and got a haircut.
Oh,
And
okay.
they cut it. And in the midst of it, I'm like, I don't know about that. But it ended up looking, she can wear anything. clothing-wise, accessories, hair, makeup, and she always looks good. She's one of those people who can carry any look.
Right, and she's going to age gracefully. Literally, one of her friends, Jamie, who she actually goes into business with the idea that they come up with, Shaka Toomey, which we'll explain in a second. Her friend is 26. Looking at the two of them together, I think they were like the same age.
Same age.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, so talking about Shaka Toomey, that was the invention they actually ended up coming up with and deciding that this is what they were going to roll with. And it was a way to, express yourself when you feel like you're not necessarily capable to give the words. Have you guys ever been in a situation where, you just don't know the right words to say, or you know the right words to say, you just don't want to say them?
You just don't want to say them, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the invention it's funny. Like, Jamie said it was a gag gift, and I can see that being, like, a cool gag gift. But, like, I mean, that's kind of, it's so true. Because there's situations sometimes where you're like, oh, I should keep my mouth shut right now, but I should say something. Like, you don't know what to do. And then, Nicole Richie brings out this big freaking speaker, and she hangs it with a belt. Did you guys see that? It was like a full-on belt around her neck. She's like, this is the best invention ever.
The prototype was really great.
It was great. It was so great.
It looked great. It had high functionality, and that's really what you need from an invention. You just need it to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it did. And I don't know that it could be executed by anyone better than Nicole Richie.
Of course.
Some of the things that were programmed in. I did like, the feature that I thought was the best was having the celebrity voices on there.
Yes, I love that part too.
That was funny.
So if you could have someone like Morgan Freeman, who does phenomenal voiceover,
Yes,
doing something, even if it's obnoxious, it's still gonna be good. Like, it's still gonna be well received. Mm-hmm. And who else did they have on there? They had
Snoop Dogg.
they had Snoop Dogg,
Michelle Obama.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a little bit more of like a gag gift the way that it was taken, but also for someone who might stammer, or
true.
It could be something that could be utilized.
Yeah.
So again, Nicole Richie, good for you, girl. You're coming up with products that people could use.
Yeah, she's ahead of the curve here.
Right.
I mean, if I could have Morgan Freeman narrate my life, I think it would be perfect.
It's so
literally.
smooth.
Right. It just makes every bad situation okay. Mm-hmm. She tripped on her toes, or tripped
every
on...
bad situation worse.
Yeah.
Because he really can put like that grumble in his voice.
Oh, true. Make it really dramatic. And oh, yeah. So, Shaka Toomey, do we agree that we would be investors in this?
I'd be an investor. Yeah, I'd be an investor for sure.
I wouldn't sell your 50.
You know what? The only thing is that I don't know how I feel about it. It was like the actual product that they came out with. I didn't like the way they presented it. If there was a different way, maybe I would be totally down for it.
Did you see the picture though? Because she had like the crystal on it. Because the reason it was called Shaka Toomey, in case you guys don't remember, was it had to do with your chakra that allowed you to like vocalize things and to make you more expressive. And that's why she wanted it to be blue. And the drawing that they had up had like a little stone on it. I'm like, I don't know where you're gonna fit the speaker on there. But it was like a cute thing. Like someone could have worn that. But
the actual thing.
It got smaller in every scene. It was like a smaller and smaller speaker. I'm like, eventually they'll get it right. But it had a little room for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through different phases of production, but that's so true, bringing up the chakra, because later in the episode we see that Jamie says that Nicole calls this invention, thinks of it as a very spiritual kind of invention, and like you mentioned before, Jamie's like, it's a gag gift, like this is for funsies. But going into their actual presentation, so they come up with the idea, they've tested it out a couple times, and now they want to actually present it to investors, which is very bold. Very bold move. Do you guys think that they were ready for investors at this point in the game?
No. Those posters that they brought out, they didn't even know what they were talking about when they were talking about the sales. They were just like, oh, well, one of the judges, he asked, right? He was like, oh, is this like, what did he say?
He wanted to know like what the metric was. Like, okay, are these dollars,
or
units,
people
purchasing? What is this? And but that's what I liked about it, is that it was really kind of like a parody of what's expected, because we've all seen it on Shark Tank or a lot of other competition shows, and a lot of people are well prepared. And on the other side of that, you have a lot of people who are ill prepared.
Very.
And it's overwhelming. It made me appreciate what they do more, because going into those things, knowing all the answers, coming out of it very firm with a stance, I don't know how people do that. I will no longer judge a participant of Shark Tank about how they present themselves.
Well, I love how Jamie was like, yeah, well, if we could get a bigger poster, we would, you know?
Like, they don't have a ton of money.
Yeah.
All of her jokes were very subtle, but I think it really made this episode different because it wasn't Nicole out the gate just being very funny. I thought it was actually kind of more centered around Jamie and kind of her ideas.
Kind of introducing her as the character to the audience.
Not only that, they took us through like the whole process of coming up with like a product, you know? Like they literally took us through every step, like them coming up with the product, then they took it to the remember that room with those people?
Yeah, so they did like the focus group.
The focus group. You know, it was like each step that you pretty much have to go through.
You know what this reminded me of this episode was how they do like things based around comedy. So they do like traffic school with like a comedic edge, or they do like sex ed with a comedic edge.
It was kind of like business for dummies.
Right. It was very informational. It's like from start to finish. You come up with the product. You meet with someone about patenting the product. You go to a focus group. You find investors. I was just like, if you wanted to blueprint this, you'd have a pretty good understanding of what you need to get a product out there.
I definitely got a better understanding because, I mean, I would have never guessed that you had to do all that stuff.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I studied entrepreneurship a little bit while I was in college, and this was pretty on point with the steps. It was, you're right, very on point. I was kind of surprised that I was getting a piece of knowledge while watching this.
And the thing about Nicole Richie is that we see her as a comedian, reality star, but she also won Entrepreneur of the Year at the Glamour Awards.
True.
So she's a businesswoman. Like we see the side of her that she wants us to see at that moment, which for Candidly Nicole is always very funny. But you know there's a real sense about her that she knows what she's doing. She may do it in a funny way, but she's very smart. She's branded herself.
Definitely. Even if we just think about how she changed her whole image from Simple Life down to now and House of Harlow and that success. Even she just had pop-up shops recently all through LA, well, in the Grove in LA, but they've had in a couple other areas. And that's really big. Maybe they'll have a full store one day.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I was reading an article the other day too, and it was pretty much talking about how much she's grown over the past couple, couple years, but from where she started and like who she is now. Right. And I love her. Now that I watched when I watched the first season, I got like a whole new love for Nicole Richie, just because she's really entertaining. She's
very unapologetic, which I like. That she's never vulgar, and she's not outwardly like trying to be funny. I think she's the friend everyone wants to have. I always think that like if I were to run into her, I think she's the one person you'd be like, I already know you. And I think that's why she's been so successful, opposed to like other counterparts who have had reality shows and kind of had their stint, that she maintains that because people are really like attached to her because she makes it seem like through the screen, she is your best friend. She's that conversation you'd be having.
It's very natural. It's
very natural. But still kind of controlled at the same time. Like even the reality show, Candidly Nicole, it's not really a reality show.
Yeah.
No.
It's perfect how she did it because she shows her personality, shows some of her family members, but she definitely has control over what people can interpret from watching the episodes.
Yeah.
I think that's what's been really successful with a lot of TV lately is they parody and it's satire and they kind of expose what you think you already know and give it kind of a facelift. And that's what the Simple Life I think she had to do because that was real. There were a lot of really real moments. And for this, she's like, I get to do what I want to do. And she's kind of paid her dues. And so she can give her real kind of insights, but make it in a way that's a little bit more digestible for people.
Right.
And it's funny.
Yeah, it makes us love her more.
Yeah, it definitely does. My mom loves this show. She watches it too now. And she was like, well, my mom was like, I never really like knew Nicole Richie, but oh wow, she is great. And she's like, she has the best fashion. Like, yeah, she does have the best fashion. She's great. I love her.
Yeah, and one thing I'm really excited about is just watching her different outfits throughout the season.
And her hair.
Oh yeah, and the hair changes.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and seeing her friends and family that are going to come into other episodes, which we'll go into later with news and gossip. But so let's kind of wrap up what the whole pitching situation, how that turned out, because that was quite a riot after she, went through with the whole business plan and got to the final step, which is actually to invest, which kind of may not have gone their way.
I don't think she was expecting that one at all. You could even, she was like, what? So you're not gonna? And they're like, yeah, so I'm not investing. And she's like, oh, okay. Like,
I like that the one guy was like on the fence though.
Yeah.
He could see it's like, it would be something that maybe is in a Spencer's or in some sort of like novelty shop that would probably sell. And I think he was from As Seen on TV, if I remember correctly. And there were 2 other familiar faces. I think both of them had appeared on Shark Tank.
yeah,
Yes,
I think so.
both of them. One was Damon.
I think he's the founder of FUBU,
Yes,
if I remember
the
correctly.
founder. And then the other woman, blonde, I can't remember her name right now, but she's also been on Shark Tank. So she had that's a kind of an intimidating panel when this is your first, big business pitch. Well, probably just Jamie's first big business pitch.
Yeah.
But for the guy to say, like, if you can come up with a way to sell this, if you can really figure out the path that you guys are on, I'll make an investment. I won't invest in the company per se. I won't fund you guys, but I will find a way to help you. I thought that was nice.
Yeah,
That was really nice.
It had like heart for the show. It wasn't just like, okay, no, we're not doing it because it's so silly and obnoxious. Because it is one of those things. It's like, is it worth doing? It has Nicole Richie's name attached to it. It's kind of like a silly thing, but silly things sell.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes,
look
Yeah,
at those
I mean-
bracelet loom things that are everywhere.
I mean, a Belfie sells.
Right.
Belfie
So,
selfie stick is crazy
yeah.
now. They're banning it at theme parks. You can't bring your selfie stick to
everywhere.
Disney.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Coachella had it banned. I didn't go, but I
Yeah,
saw
had
it was
it
like
banned.
obnoxious. People were posting on Facebook like, you can't take a selfie stick.
Nope.
And now it's kind of like an American staple of like travel. Like I have 2 of them. I'm not kidding. My boss gave me one. My boyfriend got another, and we take them everywhere we go. But really, it's not for like, oh, we just want a selfie. If you think about travel and where you're going,
Yeah,
and
they
like even like
really
tapping a
well.
stranger on the shoulder is kind of, this is why you need the Shakatumi. Like,
Right.
hey, can you take a picture? Like, it would be nice. I don't have to say it.
Great way to tie the product back
Yeah.
in. See,
that's what I
Nicole,
do.
we're on your side.
We did. Yep.
Come to the show. Show us how it works.
Show us how to Shakatumi. That sounds like a song.
It does sound
You
like
should
a
make
show.
it one.
Oh.
And then she can use that for her As Seen on TV advertisements that will
Right.
undoubtedly come
Yeah.
from her pitch.
Right, exactly. But so part of a good presentation is the actual presentation, and they look like they were having some issues, even just putting up the
Oh, they couldn't
stands.
do it. They were, like, the board was like falling over.
The easel was giving
They
them
didn't
some
know
serious
what they were
trouble.
talking about, explaining numbers. Yeah, they're like, yeah, units. Yeah, sure. And Jamie was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It was rough to watch.
Can we talk about how Jamie totally threw Nicole under the bus?
Yeah.
Like some friend.
She was probably getting nervous too. She's like, yeah, totally. Like, you know what I'm saying? She just wasn't.
I
She
think
needed
she-
the product at that point right there.
I think she was the voice that most people think they're like going into this and they're just like, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Her shares, you take them, we'll make a deal.
Right.
Anytime you watch Shark Tank, that's how I feel when there's partners. I'm
Yeah,
like, my
that's
heart is
true.
beating. I'm like,
Right.
one of those people is bound to loot. They're out of there. It's gonna be one left.
Right.
Splitting the shares, going their separate ways.
That's so sad too, because it takes a lot of energy to create an idea and a product, and then when you have a partner, it's like this is your buddy for life, kind of. You guys have gone through the trenches with this idea, and now you're at the final, destination, and just for someone to just, jump off the boat and
Yeah.
leave you by yourself.
That's why I
kinda felt
love.
bad for her.
I love Nicole's response though. She's just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like
Wow,
she's
okay.
so kind of like monotone in those moments that it's even more funny because she has such like a big personality,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
at the times of like crucial, like it's a struggle for you right now. She's just like, all right.
With her big eyes. It's just like, yep, all right. Just giving you with attitude with her eyes.
She is.
Right.
great.
She's great with the facials all the time. So much face, fierce face, and even passive aggressive face.
You know what she does? I was just thinking of that. She does make a lot of facial expressions, like really funny ones. Like when she gets, or what? Maybe it was during that episode, but she'll she just makes these like crazy expressions.
I use her gifs for everything.
Everything.
Any response I have to give, it's with a gif. I would even do it with professors.
Oh, nice.
I would like respond in an email with something with a Nicole Richie gif.
Oh my god.
They're just
Two
so
professors?
Yeah, they're just so funny. Like all of her facial expressions are really big.
They are.
They have perfect timing, or it's like just subtle enough to you have to like watch it a couple times to catch.
Right.
That's why rewatching these episodes are so good to do because you catch things over and over that you never saw the first time.
Right, and what I actually really like about the episodes too is that it's not necessarily that you have to watch them in order to enjoy the show.
Because each episode is different. Like each episode has like a different theme to it. So you know, you can watch each one whenever you want. Right. That's how I did it with season 1, definitely. So. Right,
which means all you lovely AfterBuzzers, you can go back and watch season 1, and then you can come back to this episode. You can watch our recap as many times as you want, whenever you want, to make sure that you're up to speed with Nicole Richie's show, but you don't have to watch it today. You can watch it tomorrow, next week, you'll still be cool. But yeah, going back to her Shark Tank pitch, when she doesn't get it, all of the guys and the ladies say no. Nicole Richie was like not having it at all, which we discussed. But what did her friend Jamie say at the very end about giving up Nicole's portion?
Wait, what did she say?
Because I remember she said something about like, oh, I can sell you Nicole's half.
Oh yeah, well, remember the judges were like, see, you guys need to work on things because you guys aren't even on the same page. Like, even the last judge, right, the one who was talking about making the
possibly making it.
He's like, well, you guys need to work on, you know, being on the same page because obviously you're not if you're throwing her under the bus.
Well, Jamie said, okay, Nicole can go do the spiritual thing. I'm on board for doing this as a gag gift.
Yeah.
So she was still fine. Nicole's just like, all right, I guess that's what it's gonna be. And Jamie was just like, okay, so do we get a check?
Yeah.
Cash?
He's like, no.
Traveler's check? Do you want to Venmo me that money?
Right.
She'll take it how she can get it.
But he was not down at the end.
Not down at all.
He gave him a hug, though, right?
Yeah, that was really cute.
Yeah.
That was very sweet.
It was a little awkward.
Yeah. Well, he was like for the handshake, and she was like, no, hug.
I liked the embrace at the end, though. I was like, all right, he gave it to her.
Yeah. I feel like we should start a GoFundMe.
Oh, for the Shakatumi.
Yeah, to support them, because they worked hard. You know?
We need to look online, and for next time, we need to tell people if there's something similar to that online.
We'll do that.
I feel like with the Belfie stick, anything is possible. If that's out there, we will
There
find...
probably is one. There has to be something similar for the Shakatumi.
Because even, I can even think of, like, Shakatumi for people who can't... Like, you know, like, when people smoke too much and then they have, like, those things.
See, there has to be something. If not, it is a really good idea.
Well, I mean, even the iPhone, a lot of phones have voiceover apps,
Right.
so you can use them for anything. And that was one of the judges, what would you call them? One of the investors critique was, well, why not just have it as an app?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that would make sense. So
because why not? We have another piece of product that we can sell
True.
with an app.
Yeah.
It's like anything. Everything comes with an app now.
Oh my gosh, this feels like the Shark Tank after show. We're just spitting out all these business ideas. It's so great learning and laughing at the same time. But so this was just, you know, first episode, and they ended up going back to their friend Catherine, who was like, I told you guys so.
Well,
I said this from the beginning.
Yeah, Catherine's like the businesswoman of everything. Like, she knows what she's talking about. So she was like, I was right. You guys were wrong. And she's always like that. Like in other episodes, she's like, I'm always right. And she is at the end
Kind
of the day.
know-it-all.
She is.
She's the voice of reason.
Yeah, she is.
I feel like out of everything in the show, Nicole is naturally funny.
Right.
Jamie's naturally quirky.
Yeah.
And I feel like Catherine is honest to God. Like when they put her on screen, they're just like, okay, here, go out here. And she's just herself. She's like, can we just get this done in like 37 seconds so I can get back to my real job?
Right.
And she is so serious on screen.
Yeah, she is. She's really
She
serious.
handles her business.
She's intimidating to watch a little bit.
Kind of. Like when she, at the very end, when she kind of like lifted her eyebrows a little bit, like, I almost felt like she was kind of scolding them.
She's like a mom.
She's like a mom. Yeah,
she's their
that's exactly.
mom.
She's the mom.
Keeping them in line. She's like, no, you can't create that because no one's going to buy it.
Right, but I mean, in every friend group, don't we all have, because Nicole even said this, she said, you know, Jamie is the fun, hangout friend, and Catherine is the one that's always right, the business-minded friend. We already know that Nicole's kind of the quirky friend. What friend are you guys in your groups?
I'm like the really mellow one. I'm just kind of like, I go with the flow. I try not to start drama. That's me.
Oh, I'm the Stepford wife one for sure. That's not even a joke. Like, I like everything to be perfect. I like to be very planned for everyone. I always like to bring a baked good. Like, that sounds so silly, but I'm definitely, I'm like reliable, but I'm so boring. Like, if I have to take you to the airport at 3 a.m, I will be there on time. But that is when we're gonna hang out. So if you call me at 9:30 the next night to like go out to celebrate your homecoming, I will not be there, but I will send a lovely bouquet of flowers.
Oh, well, see, the bouquet of flowers is appreciated, so you're still a great friend.
I'm there in blossoming spirit.
See, I'm like such the opposite of you guys. I'm the hippie kind of go with the flow, but like go with the flow. Oh, Vivian, where are you today? Oh, I'm in Greece. Oh,
spontaneous.
Just spontaneous. That's a great word for it. You never know where Vivian's gonna end up tomorrow.
But you're kind of like Nicole, because like you're kind of like controlled chaos then.
Yeah.
Because you're very put together.
Perfect.
You look very good.
Thanks.
You were like.
But you have a funky personality.
Thanks.
Like you're gonna serve a little attitude when it's needed. Like you're gonna.
It's like a total love fest here.
You're welcome.
We all have, great mixtures, which is why we're such a great panel for you guys to come and watch and talk about your favorite show right now on VH1, Candidly Nicole. But now we're going to get into some other stuff coming up this season. I know you watched a couple interviews to get some teases from what Nicole's been talking about.
It's one of my favorite things to go back and watch her old interviews because, again, it's like the progression of Nicole Richie, how she answers and carries herself. And she did a really good one with Mark Malkin from E! And what did she say? She said that the show is really used for entertainment, not reality. And another interview that she did, she talked about The Simple Life, which I've not heard her do in a long time, which I felt like during the circuit of promo for the show, she was kind of like touching on a lot of things, like her kids, The Simple Life, her relationship. And someone asked her about doing a new Simple Life, if they could modernize it and she would be interested in doing it again. And she said no, only because she can't imagine doing it with someone else or at a different time in her life. Like her 20s were so much fun. She actually is quoted as saying it was the best time she's ever had.
That's so cool.
I think it's nice because it's kind of like coming for her. Like, she was kind of in the limelight. It didn't pay off so well for a long time. And now she's getting to do it all over again.
Right,
with
as an adult.
Right, her way. And I think that's a good example. Like, you can come out of anything. There are a lot of ups and downs when you're maturing, and you can come out on the other side. And I don't think there's a better representative of that, especially in Hollywood, than Nicole Richie.
Definitely. Definitely. She was kind of a wild child for a while, and now she's this powerhouse businesswoman. She is a mother of 2. She's married. She has, like, everything put together right now.
Do you want to know her pet peeve? This was in an
Oh,
interview.
yeah, you told me this.
That she... Nothing seems like it bothers her on the show. That she's probably like very level-headed, very like laid back. And she said the one thing that irritates her is her kids using her purse as their own, which I thought was so. I'm like, what a mom thing. Like,
right.
Not like, oh my God, someone took my vodka out of the fridge, or like some things that we might associate with like Nicole Richie from back in the
past.
day.
Right. Yeah.
Kids using probably her Birkin as their own. And putting Legos. She said her son puts Legos, and occasionally she'll find a sock. And I'm like, that is so funny because I always think of like my sisters as having everything in the purse. Like I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, do you have scissors? Yeah, I got scissors. Why do you have scissors in there? She's like, you never know if you're gonna have to like cut a tag off of something.
Right. That's actually kind of smart.
Right. I'm like, women have everything in their purse. I'm like, so maybe that's how it starts. Is like your kid putting in like, okay, I'm just gonna throw some Legos in here for the car ride.
Because it weighs it down. My purse I brought here literally has my whole entire life in it. I have an extra pair of shoes. I have a sweater.
Everything.
I have food. Like.
In LA, you have to be prepared because there could be a traffic apocalypse and you're stuck in your car
exactly.
for 4 hours. You need like that one stale Cheeto from your bag from 4 weeks ago.
And who would hate to open up and look for their stale Cheeto and it's wrapped around their 4-year-old sock?
Yeah.
Not me, girl. Keeping it. I'll eat a Skittle off the ground. I do not care.
Some Taco Bell.
Yes. They had, the reason we're talking about this is they had a lot of Taco Bell promos.
Yes, please explain.
During Candidly Nicole, and I am obsessed with Taco Bell. Obsessed. And they must be obsessed with Nicole because they are promoting during her show.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is quite funny because I remember before she had the big weight loss, she was totally into Taco Bell. She talked about it all the time. She loved Taco Bell.
That's how I'm going to get her on Twitter. I'm going to be like, girl, do you remember when you used to love Taco Bell? I love Taco Bell now. Let's share in that together.
Right.
We can take your kids.
So going into season 2, we saw some promos, especially promos surrounded around the Taco Bell commercials, and they showed that Lionel Richie, her father, is actually going to be coming into the show this season. Super excited about that. Showed some of her antics that we might see going on, some animal stuff, just normal Nicole Richie craziness, but we can kind of feel what direction this season is going to. Do you guys have any predictions for what we might be seeing?
Honestly, I can't really predict.
We have our predictions on. Because
I can't really predict anything because, like I said, I feel like each episode's gonna be so different. I mean, spontaneous Nicole. I really don't know what's gonna come.
I think we're gonna see more of her sister.
Oh, Yeah, we get more of dad and sister probably. Right?
I think Lionel was in a few of the episodes last season. He did some of her Candidly Nicole on AOL, but her sister's becoming such a star in her own right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
definitely.
I think
she's
Nicole's,
like the new face of Material Girl.
Yeah, she
right.
is.
I think she's really gonna integrate, and she's so funny naturally too. She really has that quirk and that good timing that Nicole has, and I think they're gonna play off of that a lot. That her relationship with her sister is kind of
That'd be so cute.
it's at a crucial point because her sister's, you know, in her teenage years, going to be going into now her later teenage years when Nicole was going through a lot at that time.
Right.
So I think they're going to play into that a lot this season.
Cool. Well, I peeked at Nicole's Instagram a lot, and I saw some rap stuff going on.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know where it's going to fall into the season, but I saw a clip of her. She was rapping on stage, and she had flow. Like, she was giving it. She had a rap name, too. So I'm excited because if she teases an EP or an album coming out,
oh my gosh, that's funny.
she's going to be first in line.
She wanted to be a singer when she was younger, right? She wanted to be a singer and a dancer.
And a dancer. Yep.
Oh, true.
And she's saying a few things. Like, I remember seeing them on YouTube. Everyone should look for these clips because she gives a lot of good interviews and she has a lot of like candid videos. She does the dance from "I'm a Slave for You" out of Britney Spears,
Oh.
like behind the
I
scenes
have to look
thing.
that up.
She does every step perfectly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to look that up. For
She
you.
is full of talent.
Things you didn't know about Nicole Richie. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe we should look that up for one of our next episodes and maybe plug in the clip somewhere.
Yeah, we
That'd be
should.
During that rap one, we'll bring up all of her musical
Oh yeah.
expertise.
Of Nicole Richie's many, many talents. So now we are going to have to talk about the AfterBuzz queen, our CEO, Maria Menounos, because she is just been named as a co-anchor of E! News starting this August 2015. We're all super excited for her and wanted to give her a shout out and congratulations and all of that.
Woo.
So woo!
Congratulations.
Yes, Maria.
Doing big. Ooh. Big
I'm
things.
so excited for Maria that I'm knocking over mugs because we love Maria here. She's the reason why we have this opportunity to talk to you all and interact and talk about why we love Nicole Richie and Candidly Nicole so much. But, you know, it's getting that time where we have to have our own episode.
Yeah.
So, guys, real quick, can you tell everyone where they can find you?
Okay, you can find me again on Twitter and Instagram at BAMARLO.
And you guys can find me at Jordana_Morphin on Twitter and on Instagram.
Okay, and you guys can see me here every week when we recap Candidly Nicole, and also, again, Twitter and Instagram, VivaciouslyViv, and VivaciouslyVivian.com. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had so much fun recapping the first premiere episode for Season 2. Stay tuned next week. Next Thursday, we'll be back with another episode for you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.